Arisu wakes up in a hospital bed, his body weak but his mind burning with the memories of the Borderland. The doctors assure him he was caught in an accident, but nothing feels real. The television flickers strangely, the clock's second hand pauses mid-tick, and the world around him feels unnervingly fragile. He tries to convince himself it was only a dream, but the unease in his chest grows heavier with each passing moment. Deep inside, he fears the nightmare isn't finished and that he may still be trapped. Usagi visits, her presence warm and grounding as she talks about a future beyond all the madness. Together, they walk through Shibuya, but the city is not what it seems. Lights flicker, traffic signals freeze, and people stare at them with glassy, hollow eyes. Each step only makes the atmosphere feel more unnatural. They exchange worried glances, realizing something is deeply wrong. The peace they thought they had earned feels like a cruel illusion about to break apart. Their fear proves true when an explosion shakes the ground, collapsing buildings and throwing the city into chaos. The destruction feels eerily targeted, following them wherever they run. From the smoke, a cloaked figure emerges, calm and composed, shuffling a deck of cards in his hands. His presence is suffocating, his words few but heavy. The final round begins now. In that moment, Arisu and Usagi understand that their escape was just another layer of the Borderland's cruel design. The shock deepens when familiar faces appear among the ruins. Kuina, Chishiya, and Anne, alive but visibly shaken. They too believed they had escaped, only to find themselves dragged back into the nightmare. Their reunion is filled with confusion, betrayal, and anger, but also relief that they are not alone. Still, exhaustion hangs over all of them, a weight of endless survival that refuses to let go. They know better than to waste time asking why. Survival is all that matters now. The first new challenge soon begins, dragging them into a maze of glass walls called the Mirror of Truth. Each reflection they encounter is twisted, whispering secrets and regrets they've buried. The reflections cry, mock, and tempt them, pushing them toward madness. The rules are cruel. Break the glass, and deadly traps are unleashed. The maze is not just physical. It's a labyrinth of the soul, designed to strip them of sanity. Many lose themselves to their own inner demons, proving this game is unlike anything they've faced before. Arisu finds himself tormented by visions of Karub and Chota, their deaths replaying as his reflection blames him for their fate. The guilt nearly breaks him, but he resists the urge to strike the glass. Usagi's reflection takes the form of her father, begging her to give up and surrender. She crumbles under the weight of despair until Arisu pulls her forward. Together, they push through the maze, leaning on each other's strength. They barely escape, leaving behind shattered survivors who could not resist their own truths. When the survivors regroup, the cloaked figure reveals himself as the dealer of hearts. His calm voice is chilling as he explains that the Borderland is not random, but a trial of humanity itself. They demand answers, but he offers only riddles, saying their struggles prove the limits of human potential. His words provide no comfort, only deepening the mystery of why they're here. Yet his presence makes it clear, this is no longer just about survival. It is about something far greater. Chishiya, sharp and calculating, begins analyzing the games, convinced they are part of a larger system. He suspects the dealer may not even be real, but rather a construct of the Borderland itself. Kuina, however, insists that overthinking will only doom them. Survival comes from instinct and trust. Their arguments grow heated, straining the fragile unity of the group. Still, each of them knows they must find a way forward together, or none will survive. But fear, exhaustion, and doubt eat away at their bond. The next game, the Pendulum, tests both courage and precision. Players are strapped to swinging platforms suspended over a bottomless void. The rules are simple: reach the other side. But the swings are erratic, unpredictable, and designed to break focus. Panic takes over as some leap too soon, falling into the abyss with screams that echo long after. Arisu steadies himself, studying the rhythm, guiding Usagi step by step. Together they reach the end, but the sound of the lost continues to haunt them. That night, they find shelter in the ruins of a half-collapsed building. For the first time in days, they let themselves breathe. In the quiet, the walls between them crumble, and they share their fears. Kuina admits she dreads returning to her family, uncertain she can face them again, and confesses she is terrified of dying without leaving any mark on the world. Usagi leans against Arisu, whispering her dream of a life with him. In this fragile moment, their humanity shines through the darkness. The dealer reappears, shattering their brief peace with a revelation. The Borderland is not a game but a limbo between life and death. Each of them had been on the edge of dying in the real world, their fates undecided. The truth shakes them. This place is not punishment, but a crossroads. Survive and they may return to life. Fail and they vanish forever. The weight of his words crushes them, making each player question whether their choices have ever truly been their own. Memories flood their minds. Chishiya recalls bleeding out after being shot. Arisu remembers the Shibuya blast that left him broken. Usagi recalls her despair, her soul teetering on the edge before she crossed over. Each survivor realizes they are here because they were caught between worlds. But the hardest truth is knowing that to leave, they must choose life, with all its uncertainty and pain. And no one knows if choosing it will truly set them free. A brutal new challenge begins, called the Chain of Sacrifice. Players are bound together by electrified chains that shock them if they fail to move in unison. The only way to escape is if one player disconnects, absorbing the full shock and dying for the others. The group panics, each clinging to life as the shocks grow stronger. Finally, a quiet survivor, someone who had followed in the background, steps forward, sacrificing himself. His selfless act leaves the others alive but drowning in guilt. The loss weighs heavily, and begins to break. She admits to Kuina that maybe survival is meaningless, that perhaps death here would be easier than facing reality. Kuina lashes out in anger, slapping her before breaking down herself. The two collapse into raw honesty, confessing their fears and holding each other tightly. In that moment, their friendship transforms into something unshakable. The despair that almost consumed them is replaced with a promise to fight for each other until the end. The dealer announces the final stage lies ahead, a place called the Origin. To reach it, they must cross a desert of illusions. The sands shimmer with visions of their past, laughter, regrets, loved ones long gone. Arisu sees Karub and Chota, alive and carefree, begging him to stay. Usagi sees her father smiling, whole and warm. Each mirage tempts them to stop walking, to surrender to memory. But together they push on, refusing to lose themselves. Every step becomes an act of defiance against despair. At the Origin, they discover a throne surrounded by shattered clocks frozen at different times. A woman sits upon it, regal and terrifying, introducing herself as the Queen of Time. She explains that the Borderland is her creation, a world that feeds on humanity's choices and fears. She offers them a choice: stay and rule beside her in eternal safety, or leave and face the pain of the real world. Her words are gentle, but her offer is cruelly seductive. For a moment, Chishiya considers staying. The idea of control and safety tempts him, a life without uncertainty or betrayal. But Arisu steps forward, his voice trembling yet firm, declaring that life's pain and struggles are what make it meaningful. Usagi stands beside him, adding that love, loss, and the unknown are worth more than safety. One by one, the others follow. The queen smiles faintly, proud yet sorrowful, warning them that life will not be kind. Still, she allows them to choose. The final challenge is simple yet terrifying: the game of choice. Each survivor must step through one of two doors. One leads to life, the other to nothingness. No guidance, no teamwork, no tricks, only pure choice. Fear grips them all as silence hangs heavy in the air. Arisu squeezes Usagi's hand, whispering that he chooses life, no matter what it brings. Together, they step forward. One by one, Kuina and finally Chishiya follow, each making their silent decision. Arisu jolts awake, his chest heaving as the steady beep of a heart monitor fills the air. Doctors rush around him, and relief floods his body when he sees Usagi in the next bed, alive. Kuina and En are nearby, battered but breathing. Even Chishiya survives, though barely. Their eyes meet across the hospital ward, filled with tears of disbelief and gratitude. For the first time, the Borderland feels truly behind them. They are alive. Months later, Arisu and Usagi walk together through the bustling streets of Shibuya. The city pulses with life, vibrant and real, no longer a cruel illusion. They stop at the crossing, holding hands tightly, and smile at each other. The memories of the Borderland linger, carved into their souls, but they no longer carry despair. Instead, those memories remind them of the value of life, fragile yet beautiful.